Hey guys, welcome to the UF Disciple channel. Today for unboxing and reviewing, we have the Galax GTX 980 Ti Hall of Fame Edition, which has 6 gigabytes of DDR5. Let's get started. Alright, so let's start unboxing this thing. Let's pull the tape off the side. Yeah. Pull it. There we go. That's off. Let's get this side thing off. Oh, another paper cut. Oh, these boxes. Oh, that hurt. Oh, man. Okay. Let's get over my pain and let's focus on what this is. Let's open the box. A nice, beautiful black piece of foam. Gaming in progress. Overclocking in progress. Door hanger. User manual. Graphics driver. Seriously, download them from the website. These are out of date. Galax setup guide. Easy steps for quick installation. Okay, let's throw all of that stuff out. 2 Molex to 8-pin. 2 Molex to 8-pin. And then we have a VGA to DVI, which I complained about in my GTX 980 unboxing. Seriously, why VGA for a 980 Ti? I mean, seriously. Anyways, getting off my high horse and paying attention to what this is. Get this out. Okay, look at that. Do I have... Hold on. This looks like significantly better than my 980, so I'm going to go grab that, and we'll compare that right now as far as beauty goes. Let's grab it. Oh, yeah. Okay, I can immediately see the difference here. Okay. All right, so you can see they have a chrome finish on the front of this instead of the, like, matte silver. That's nice. Okay. Other than that, it looks about the same, I suppose. I guess that's just what startled me, was the chrome finish. Yep, we have the HOF there. We have the Hall of Fame thing on the back. And we have a nice silver black plate on the back, which looks about the same. No, I guess this one's kind of cooler with, like, the line designs and everything. Alright, so enough about the 980. Let's focus on the 980 Ti. Let's overview it. Let's benchmark it. Let's talk about it and see how awesome it actually is. The Galax GTX 980 Ti Hall of Fame Edition is Galax's flagship Hall of Fame card. The 980 Ti Hall of Fame features a white and chrome outer shroud with 3 black fans for cooling, with 2 80mm on the outside and 1 90mm on the inside. The 980 Ti Hall of Fame also features a custom extended all-white PCB to go with the white Hall of Fame theme. The card also features illuminated Hall of Fame logos on the side of the card and on the backplate. Speaking of the backplate, it's an anodized aluminum backplate with another Hall of Fame logo, and some lines that reminded me, strangely enough, of Transformers. I'm not sure why. For the output, you have 3 DisplayPort 1.2 outputs, a single HDMI port, and a single DVI port. On the rear of the card, you'll also find this HyperBoost button, which isn't labeled, mentioned in the manual, or conspicuously placed anywhere on their website. Apparently, it's supposed to be like a turbocharger for your graphics card. And pleasantly, unlike the 970 and 980 Hall of Fame cards, when I pressed this button, it didn't send the fan speeds to 100%, but it also had zero noticeable effect on the card otherwise. For power requirements, it is recommended that you have at least a 600 watt power supply, and the card requires 2 8-pin PCIe power connectors. And while we're speaking of these power connectors, how did Galax make this poor choice on all 3 of the Hall of Fame cards? It's still the off-white mismatched color here that makes very little sense. And speaking of lesser design choices, I'm frankly disappointed that this card doesn't feature the fan LEDs that are included on the entry-level GTX 950 White Edition. It would have been nice to at least have that option. For the technical specifications, the Galax GTX 980 Ti has 2,816 CUDA cores, 6 GB of 384-bit GDDR5 VRAM clocked at 3,506 MHz out of the box. The 980 Ti Hall of Fame comes with a base clock of 1190 MHz, with my card having a GPU boost clock of 1418 MHz. With regards to overclockability, Galax includes a 2 BIOS solution to supposedly allow for better overclocking. But in my case, and from what I've discovered with other users, and with the other Hall of Fame edition graphics cards that I've tested, the regular BIOS does a sufficient job at overclocking. With the card, I was able to achieve a 5% core overclock and an 11% memory overclock for a total of 1500 MHz core clock and 3903 MHz memory clock. Going on to benchmarking data, for all of the benchmarks, I ran the card with my i7-6700K, which was overclocked to 4.4 GHz, and I had 32 GB of DDR4 2133 MHz RAM. I tested a variety of games at the highest graphics settings possible in each game with the resolutions of 1920 by 1080, 2560 by 1440, and 3840 by 2160 for 4K. I tested the GTX 980 Ti with Batman Arkham Knight, Crysis 3, Far Cry 4, Grand Theft Auto 5, Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor, Tomb Raider, and The Witcher 3. Each of these benchmarks was run both at the out-of-the-box speeds as well as with the overclock applied. Stop the video whenever you need to take a further look at the graphs, since the overall highlights will only be discussed. At 4K, the 980 Ti Hall of Fame pulled a nearly 60 FPS average in Arkham Knight and Shadow of Mordor, and kept over a 30 FPS average in every other game, including The Witcher 3, which still just completely punishes cards. And this, mind you, is with NVIDIA Hairworks turned off. At 1440p, the 980 Ti treats this resolution like the 970 does 1080p, a 60 FPS average in every game and approaching nearly over 100 in many cases. The only anomaly here is that, like in some other cases with my testing, The Witcher 3 actually performs worse with the overclock applied. At 1080p, the card destroys every game, with it able to push well over the refresh rate of most monitors and even over 144 FPS in a couple of games. There's really not that much to say here. It's really, really good at 1080p. So what's the conclusion? The Galax GTX 980 Ti Hall of Fame is a beautiful card. It has some more premium design features than even the 970 and 980 Hall of Fame cards. It feels like a status symbol having this card in my system. However, there are a few things to be considered with this card, and that being its custom extended PCB makes it incredibly long and a pain in the butt to get in my mid-tower BitPhoenix Comrade case, with the card coming in at 315mm in length. Also, this card, with its super awesome cooling system with 7 heat pipes and a copper base, makes it take up nearly 2.5 slots of space in my case. So just keep in mind the space requirements when you're thinking of buying this card. You're definitely going to want to have premium components around this card. And it's hard to find anything wrong with this card besides its price tag. It comes in at a pretty high 11,000 South African Rand or $700 US. But with that, you get a pretty future-proof card. And in South Africa, where Titan X availability isn't really a thing, the 980 Ti is as best as you can hope to get. This is definitely the king of cards here in Sub-Saharan Africa. And with that, I'd like to give a huge thank you to Wootware for sponsoring this video on the Galax GTX 980 Ti Hall of Fame Edition. Currently, they're the only retailer in South Africa carrying this card, as well as the full lineup of other Galax graphics cards. For those of you who don't know, Wootware is ranked second for the best online retailer in South Africa because they have a super helpful customer support staff, and that, combined with a huge selection and incredible prices and so many different pieces of computer hardware, make buying your computer stuff with them a great experience. They're constantly adding new products like the Samsung 950 Pro M.2 SSDs and the Logitech G29 racing wheel. So if you're in South Africa, head on over to wootware.co.za to woot up your life. And that's it for my review of the Galax GTX 980 Ti Hall of Fame Edition graphics card. Like this video if you found it helpful, dislike it if it was more disappointing than the time Bic, the disposable razor and pen company, they actually made disposable underwear. So dislike this video if it was more disappointing than disposable underwear. You can also subscribe to stay up to date on future videos, including some comparison videos that I have coming up of 4 different GTX 970s, and also all of the Galax graphics cards that I could get my hands on. You can also use my Amazon affiliate code down in the video description to support my channel financially by buying computer things on Amazon, and it'll help me out a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.